This is the 442 podcast.
Welcome back to the 442 pod. This is our second ever episode. We had some interesting games this week.
Oh yeah,
We had some midweek Premier League games. What'd you think of the games?
it was good. Yeah, it was exciting. I mean, I know you got to be happy with the way Liverpool played against Newcastle.
Oh yeah.
And I'm obviously happy because no surprises, Chelsea did win 4-0, and so we're back on the winning ways. But yeah, just tell me what you think about your team.
Oh
They had a
man.
hell of a game.
I mean, the performance was world class. I thought quality all around. Szoboszlai is having such a good season, and he got another goal. So it was a great performance all around. I thought it was one of Trent's better games too.
Yeah, he was good, even defensively. I mean,
Defensively
yeah.
as well. Yeah, all around. It was one of his better games. Like, he was on it defensively, which is kind of rare for him. But he played solid because I feel like this season, it just hasn't been his best season all around. I wonder if it's because he's most likely leaving.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if it's just kind of like in the back of his mind, so he kind of knows, because it hasn't been his best season.
No, I think you're right. I think he's got thoughts of Real Madrid in the back of his head, and probably some sadness because I mean he's a Liverpool boy and Liverpool fan, and so to be leaving, that's going to be hard. So definitely a distraction, I would say, for him. But yeah, that was definitely one of his bad games. I mean, he did not look good against City defensively. He was getting burned every time, so many times. But he shut down the crosses against Newcastle and was defending well. Like, he had some clearances and still spraying the ball around. So yeah, I think he was very good. He was one of the better players. And as you said, Slobosai, I mean, a double
good.
meg on his goal, I think it
So
was.
good.
Wasn't it? I mean,
It was great.
you don't usually see that.
No.
Two megs.
No.
And I think it was Dan Burn was shaking his head because he couldn't believe
Yeah,
it. Because
yeah.
I mean, he probably should have tried to. He should have got something on that, and he couldn't because it wasn't like he smashed it. I mean, he just placed it perfectly through both the defender's legs. So yeah, you have to be happy with that.
Oh, I was super happy. I thought it was perfect performance, and then we got a little lucky with Arsenal drawing Forest, so
Yeah.
they kind of fumbled. I feel like that game was a must win for them to have even like a chance.
Yeah, they just, I don't know, they fell off a cliff. They really have from there. I mean, they're not the same team they
No.
were. Even corners. I mean, just watching them, they're getting close with corners, but before they were pretty much unstoppable.
Yeah.
They got a corner and it was a goal. And so they can't score goals.
No.
I mean, I think they made a huge mistake in the transfer window, not trying to bring someone else in.
Mm.
I know they've got the injuries. They got Saka, who gives them a lot of goals.
Oh, yeah.
He's out, but they really need a center forward. Someone who's
100%.
going to score. Someone's going to put the ball in the back of the net. And
Well, that's what I was thinking, because they need a forward, and I wanted to talk about Isak because I feel like he's having such a great season this year.
oh yeah.
And I don't know why I have like this feeling that they're gonna try to pick him up, because I feel like he would fit into their system so well, because he knows how to score, and that's what they're lacking. And he also is very tactical. He knows how to play the ball around with a possession type style. So I feel like he would fit really well into the Arsenal system. I don't want it to happen, but I could see like Arteta trying to go for that.
He's got to get someone because it's just not working. I mean, they've really slipped. And now, once again, here you are beating Newcastle and them dropping points to Forest. Like, that's a hard place to go. But, I did watch the highlights of that one, and they had some chances. I can't remember who it was who hit the post in the first half. They had some close calls on the corners, but they just can't seem to finish. They had all the possession as usual, kind of like that. I know Arteta, he was, he learned his trade from Pep, and so keeping that possession, but you still have to score, and they're not doing it. So
Yeah, it's been rough for them. I'm glad I'm not an Arsenal fan. It's that would not be fun. But I wanted to ask you, do you think Salah is on a Ballon d'Or season run right now? Because he got another assist. He didn't score in the midweek, but I think he has 25 goals and 17 assists.
Yeah.
He's leading in both categories. Do you think if Liverpool actually can do it and win the league, maybe win the Champions League, and Salah keeps up his form, do you think he could win the Ballon d'Or?
he should. I mean, if he doesn't, I'd be shocked.
Yeah.
Because the way he's passing the ball too, he had a couple of with the outside of his left foot, right on the money. I mean, just a little too far in front of Diaz on that one. Do you remember that?
It could have been
the top end.
Yeah, it's perfect.
And he put the ball right there, and it was just a little bit of a reach for Diaz. And there was another one I can't remember. He did the outside of his foot, and it's just his passing is incredible. He's really improved that part of his game. But then he can score. So I think in that the goal, even with McAllister, I think he had two, maybe even three defenders within range of him, and they were so focused on him, he knew that, and so
Yeah.
and you were expecting him to curl it in with his left foot. top corner, and he just slipped it perfectly to McAllister, who I think McAllister even started the move too.
He did. He did. McAllister had a great game as well.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're happy with Diaz too. One of his best
Oh
games.
yeah, Diaz was so incredible. He looked like I don't know, he had his Wheaties or something because he was on it. Like he maybe the Colombian coffee. I don't know what he was doing, but he doesn't run out of energy.
Oh
Like he's
yeah,
just go go go. But that game was even more so, and he was just. I love his effort and like when we're on defense, he'll just run run. Like
yeah.
I don't know how he doesn't run out of energy.
Oh yeah, I mean that's been part of your success. I think everyone's like that on the
Yeah.
team. You know, McAllister's been in the wars. We were commenting on that, how he's getting kicked and knocked over, but still there. And Slobosly, obviously, what he contributes to breaking up plays. And Gravenberg, we haven't even talked about him. I mean, what
I
what a
mean,
team this is. I mean, geez,
Gravenberg's
just a
been one of my favorite players this season. Like,
couple of the guys, and even the subs that come on,
mhm.
Jota's, I know his confidence still doesn't seem to be 100% there, because I know he had one where he looks like he should have shot it. He tried to get it to Salah, and I think Lewis Hall was in the way and blocked it. But, just looking at the depth, and not to jinx or anything, but the injuries haven't been too bad.
No,
And then you got like Joe Gomez has been out for a long time. Jota was out. I think Bradley may have a knock. I don't know, right?
it's like yeah, he did. I
Connor
think he's
Bradley.
coming back though.
Yeah, Connor Bradley. But yeah, I mean, what depth in that team?
I think that's what kind of puts us apart from all the other teams this year. And I know they said that Slot's one of the best managers for kind of managing injuries and
Yeah,
having low injuries on the team. And it's because of his rotations and because we didn't really add anybody onto the team, but he's been so good about rotating the squad and we've had very minimal injuries. And then you look at, Man City or Arsenal and they've had some crazy bad injuries
yeah.
that could be impacting why they're not quite there, and Liverpool is.
I think so. And even Tottenham, you look at them, right? I mean, I know they've been horrible this season, but they have had a lot of injuries
Yeah.
too. Some big players have been out. But yeah, and then Chelsea, it sounds like we're just talking about Liverpool, but I know Chelsea played Southampton.
Yeah.
They should have won.
They should have won, and
It's
they
not
did.
like anything to get too excited about. I'd have probably a little happier if Cole Palmer had scored, but he didn't score. And so I think it was Nkuku, Caldwell. Yeah, I don't even remember who got the goals. I wasn't really concentrating on it
It
because
was
it was
it
expected.
was an expected win, and
Yeah,
it
4-0
happened.
against Southampton. But yeah, it was glad to be back in the winning ways. Now we can turn it around.
Exactly. I mean, the results were pretty straightforward. We both thought Arsenal was going to win, and they didn't. It was 0-0 against
Yeah,
Forest. And then I think the big upset was Villa Palace, though. I really thought Villa was going to win that.
yeah, I didn't see that coming, especially the way Villa's playing right now, and
Yeah.
with Rashford in the team, and what was it, Asensio?
Asensio, yeah.
Yeah, what a team they have. It's a good team.
They're super solid, and Rodgers had a great goal.
Oh
I
yeah,
have him on my fantasy team, and that was like over the top, and he does a spin move to kind of recorrect his run,
yeah, that was.
and then it was a great finish.
I did see that one. Yeah, he's a great player. They've got a good player there. I mean, he's going to be
Yeah.
around for a while. He's a young guy. He's big. He's strong, and he just shows up from midfield in the right place at the right time and is getting some good goals. So,
Yeah, I really like this Villa team. They're fun to watch. So I was surprised Palace got that win, but Palace is they're getting like a little like informed run right now
yeah.
going.
Oh, they are. I mean,
It's
they
crazy.
beat. Oh, I was going to say they beat United. But that's not that big of a deal, is
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
At Old Trafford. And then we can kind of segue into the Ipswich, right? Against
It's
Ipswich playing United.
that was frustrating.
What a stupid game that was, right?
I really thought they were gonna do it, especially when Man U had a red card, and then
Yeah, they was in a good position.
I was like, oh, they could at least tie, but
Yeah,
so
gifted a goal right at the beginning.
gifted a
So
goal.
yeah,
Yeah, it was like it's just classic Ipswich for this season. I feel like that's the run of form, but hope they haven't played yet, but they're about to play Forest, so hopefully they beat Forest in that FA Cup.
maybe they can have a
We can,
cup run.
we can,
I mean, yeah. Look, he's got his Ipswich shirt
yeah,
on. So.
representing today. So
Yeah. And I used to have an old Adidas one that was ancient. It was almost falling apart, and I couldn't find it, so I was going to put that on. So I thought, hey, we'll go for Ipswich in
yeah,
this podcast for the FA Cup. But I don't know, it's going on right now, I think, isn't it, or just about to
it's
start?
it's about to start. Yeah,
Yeah,
so we can hope because what happened with Ipswich, I feel like this has happened to so many teams this year, is conceding goals out of the back. I feel like it's such a big issue this year. I don't know why. It seems more prevalent. Do
yeah.
you think that's happening this year
It's
more?
spotlighted. It's just like, the in the old days it was lump it forward no matter what,
Yeah.
and then more of a continental style and playing it at the back, which is fine, but it's almost like there's a rule where you could never do that,
Yeah.
and it's like, no, just mix it up. And plus sometimes it creates a goal because
Yeah.
team's not ready for it, and if you've got, a fast forward, they get ahead, it's not offside, they get through, and you can get some goals that way. But yeah, lots of like bad passes, trying to get it out of the back. And I know the teams are pressing, but that's nothing new. And yeah, you've seen so many goals like that. Goalkeepers made a bad decision, or one of the defenders. Even the goal that Ipswich got in that game, I mean, I don't know what happened there. I think it was Onana too, because he just rushed out. He didn't need to. But to just then flick it back towards the goal. I mean, come on, that was so unnecessary for United, and their fans must be so frustrated just giving away goals. And then the same guy, what did he do? He's the guy that fouled. I can't remember the player's name. Oh no, yeah, I don't remember it. The defender who gave Ipswich the gift of the goal, and then also fouled Hutchinson,
Right.
And got the red. So he had a great game.
It's been horrible, but I feel like because like teams like Liverpool and usually Arsenal and City can kind of get away with playing out of the back, because I feel like it's been minimal the mistakes. But even Liverpool, every so often you'll see it happen. One of the players will do a poor back pass, and then it leads to a deadly opportunity for the other team. But then you get a team like Ipswich, and it's like, okay, they probably should not be playing this style. And I feel like every team in the Premier League is trying to replicate that, and it's just not working this year. And I would love to see, like, we need like a stat guy to be like, this is how many times teams play at the back, and this is how many times they're getting scored on. Because I feel like the risk to like reward ratio is not worth it for some of these teams.
Especially with teams like, you've got the relegation teams, and you're right, they're playing exactly the same game plan. Let's play it out of the back and move it up the pitch. But you've seen Leicester give away so many goals like that. Ipswich have done that. And it's just, in Southampton, the bottom three, I'm sure they would be high up there on statistics of goals scored from giveaways on playing out of the back.
Yeah, brutal. I mean, when I played as a kid, that was always like the rule. Like, don't just kick it out. Kick it up the field if you can't do anything.
Clear it.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's way better than putting the other team and giving them that opportunity to get a goal.
I don't know. Hoof it out of there, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, it's been interesting. But so right now we had, I mean, other than that, it was pretty like straightforward with the Premier League. But the FA Cup had some interesting games. What do you think of the FA Cup game so far?
Yeah, we had couple of shootouts. I just finished watching the highlights of the United shootout with Fulham.
I loved seeing Fulham get through. We both called Fulham winning that game, but it was nice.
The way they did, that was a bit of a surprise on the penalty shootout. But yeah, two awful penalties. I think Fulham made all five of theirs. No, four. Sorry, they got four, and
Fulham's were really good penalties.
Yeah, solid penalties, just perfect. And United, the two that they did miss, Lindelof
was horrible.
It was
why was he taking one?
No pace. He looked nervous.
Horrible.
He looked scared anyway, and he goes up and just places it. Got great height for the keeper. Got the right way, admittedly, but yeah. And then what was it? Xerxes?
I mean, he's a forward. What are you doing? Yeah. You're a forward. You got to make your penalties.
Yeah.
And that was a horrible penalty. It wasn't even close.
Oh, yeah, it was awful too.
It was like the prime spot for a goalie to save it, and it wasn't even powerful.
Yep.
Just not a good penalty.
Unbelievable.
So I'm glad Fulham won that. Really glad. The other kind of big upset was Newcastle, because we were talking about how good they've been, but I mean, they did lose to Liverpool, and then they got knocked out to Brighton.
Oh yeah, that was a surprise, because I mean, Brighton had, I think it was Lumpy sent off, and
there's 2 red cards.
Yeah, then Newcastle had a red card too. Well, Gordon, which is good for Liverpool again, because here you go, you got Caribou Cup coming up, and now one of their best players is not going to be
that game. I didn't know they did that, so that's great. No Gordon in the final.
So yeah,
ridiculous.
I think we both said, if we were talking about it, who's going to win the FA Cup now, and one of our picks was Newcastle.
Yeah,
and Villa was the other one.
It was them and Villa.
Those two.
Yeah.
So well, they're gone. So jinx that, and what was it? City with Plymouth. They it wasn't that easy for them, and they had their better players out there. It wasn't like, I know when Liverpool played Plymouth, it was the reserves. It was not. I mean, maybe a couple of players, but City had. I mean, other than I think Haaland came on.
Yeah, they brought Haaland on, but everybody else was like pretty like starters.
Yeah.
Starters.
It was a good team out there, and they struggled. But obviously they got through, so they're in the next round. But so we had the 2 penalty shootouts, right? So
other than that, there weren't crazy upsets. I mean, Villa beating Cardiff, that was expected. Palace is keeping their form up. They took out Millwall. So it was pretty like standard stuff. Other than that, I mean, I'm so glad United's out. I feel like they're like such a joke now. Like they're not even they feel like a championship team right now.
Yeah, it's crazy, because when you think they've got as bad as they can possibly get, they get worse. And so I don't understand it. They got their new coach, but I think it's a big project to try to turn them around, no matter who you are. And so I don't know. It just really, the players they've got, and they just don't seem to be that into it. It's weird.
Lack of motivation
Yeah,
from all around.
how could you go from, Fergie to, just wave after wave of attack,
It's
and then now they're just bad. I mean,
they're super. Do you think Amorim is doing everything he can? Do you think he's a good manager, or is it just structurally it's everything around? It's not really his fault.
yeah,
What
I
do you
think
think?
going into it, I thought he was a good choice for the job.
Yeah.
He what with was it Benfica or Sporting? I can't remember, one of the Lisbon teams
Hmm.
anyway, right? So he Benfica, I think it was, and then Thrash City. So good resume coming in, and but yeah, I think it's more long term. They need it's to do with the
Yeah.
owners, the management. Just there's a massive rebuilding project at Man
Yeah.
United. So it must be horrible to be a Man U fan right now.
It's so embarrassing, and it's funny just because growing up, Man U was like the dominant team.
Oh yeah,
They're like how City, is now. That's
yeah,
how they were when I was growing up. So I was like so sick of them winning. I
yeah.
never thought they would be this bad and go this long without winning anything really. I think they won like a Caribou Cup or something, but they've been horrible.
Right.
Do you think there's any chance they get relegated this year?
I don't think they'll get relegated,
Yeah.
but they're going to fin just above the relegation
Yeah.
zone is the way I'm looking at it because they're not showing anything. And I think it actually was the FA Cup they won last year, but they're out now anyway. It doesn't
Right,
matter.
right, yeah, yeah.
It's irrelevant. But yeah, I mean, I know, Southern California here, and it used to be, and it still is to a degree, but you ask someone, oh, who's your team? And it used
So
to
many
be
United.
United.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I'm sure they're going to lose some support. No new fans
They're not
coming
getting
on.
new fans. I'm sure
Yeah.
the younger generation is like Man U who
Yeah.
they don't care because they're just a joke, honestly.
Not interested. Yeah.
Other than Bruno Fernandes, I feel like that whole team is just pretty awful. I don't know. Can you name any other good players on there?
Not really. I
Yeah,
mean, I know I've never been, well, for a long time, not been a Harry Maguire fan, and he's a regular now. And I
yeah,
know he did score the winner against Ipswich, but other than that, no, not really.
not really.
Yeah.
Right. So it's crazy, but yeah. Other than so now we have the draw for the FA Cup.
Oh yeah, that just what was it? Did they have that on Sunday
Yeah,
or
I
I
think
think
it
so.
was so
Yeah.
Sunday. So we know every game other than we're waiting on Ipswich, but if Ipswich can beat Nottingham Forest, they'll play Brighton at Brighton, which would be a good game.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Not easy, not easy. So
No.
we'll see for that one. And then we got Preston and Villa. I feel like Villa's gonna take that. I mean, I don't see them
Yeah.
not winning.
Because they're the only championship team. They're the only non-Premier League champion
Remaining.
left
Yep.
remaining, I think, Preston. So Villa should handle them. So then it'll just be, Premier League teams left for the semis, right?
Exactly.
Because yeah.
I like the Fulham Crystal Palace matchup.
Yeah, it's a London derby again, so that those are always crazy. And like you said, here Crystal Palace thrashed Villa, Fulham beat United, and they're on a good run. They're having some good form right now, and so yeah, I think that's going to be a really good game.
That'll be a great game. And it's at Fulham too. So both teams are pretty much in form.
Yep,
So that's a toss up. I don't know who I got. I don't know if I can call that one to be honest. That could be another shootout. We'll see.
exactly. Yeah,
And then the last pair up is Bournemouth Man City, which I would love Bournemouth to just knock out City. I don't want City to have a chance to win anything this year.
I think yeah, you just don't know because Bournemouth's playing well too, and they've got some good players.
Mhm.
Clivert, that's another forward who hey, I could see him going somewhere.
Right.
And I think I can't remember his name, the Polish defender. I had heard just from, watching other podcasts and whatnot that Liverpool was looking at him possibly because he's a young guy, he's
Mhm.
fast, he's good, he kind of fits in well. And I know we had talked about Anthony Robinson
I
at
like him.
Fulham,
I like him a
but
lot.
I think for what they're looking for, he's a little bit old.
Yeah.
They're looking to more of a younger player
Right.
because you got to get someone. I love Andy Robinson watching him because he's been a hell of a player for Liverpool.
Yeah.
And when him and Trent were getting all those assists, but you need some new fullbacks. I mean, you've
With
got
more pace,
yeah,
some fresh legs.
yeah. I think because you've got Bradley for Trent if he goes right, but then Tsimikas on the other side, but then Robinson. I think
Yeah.
he may want to stay with Liverpool because he obviously loves playing for the
Be a
team.
rotational player.
But yeah, like what was it, Milner? Like a
Yeah.
Milner, right? Filling
Exactly.
in. So, but yeah. So, what do you think about that? Have you looked at him at all? I can't remember his name, but he's Polish, I think. The fullback for Bournemouth.
I not really, but I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
So I mean that would be cool. I feel like there's some good left backs out there. So it'll be interesting, but I think that left back position is definitely on Slot's mind for like priority.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be I feel like fullbacks in general, especially if we lose Trent, Bradley will definitely, take that spot, but we're gonna need somebody
You
to.
need cover.
We need a backup.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he's already thinking about what can we get for right and left back.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. There's some good talent out there. So we'll see on that one. What do you think of Darwin Nunez? Because
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to talk about him.
Yeah, Darwin, that's funny because I know we've talked about this. The fans, not, I think they're losing a little luster, but they loved his work ethic,
Yeah.
and he was out there and he'd give it all, but just couldn't score. And then the game was there's a Southampton game, wasn't it, when he scored the 2 goals?
Yeah,
And
that was amazing.
yeah, like out of nowhere. And,
Since
and
then,
and we were talking about this. We were watching it, and the feed went out, so we didn't see because it was those goals
when
were
he
so
scored.
close together, and we didn't see it.
Yeah.
But I thought, oh well, maybe he's going to get his confidence now and score. And then of course he did not. And so I know you've said this. You think he'd be a better defender.
Yeah, I would love to see Darwin play center back. I feel like it's just fitting for him. His play style, he's super aggressive. He's actually pretty good at defending.
Yeah, from corners you see it. Huh?
You see it all the time when we're on defense. Like his work rate's great, so he'll work back. He's super aggressive. He gets stuck in. I feel like if he just learned the position, he could be an underrated center back. I don't know if I would trust him on Liverpool as a center back, but
Yeah.
on another team, like I feel like maybe he's just been playing the wrong position his whole life.
That's the thing, and it's hard because if you do see yourself as a center forward, and
Yeah.
now you're going to be a center back, you'll try to do it, but would he be interested in making that
Yeah,
transition?
probably not because he probably likes the glory of scoring goals. But
Yeah.
if he somehow, this probably will never happen, but if he ever did play center back and like transition, he could just come up for set pieces, come up for corners, free kicks, and still score.
Yeah.
And you never know. He could be a really quality center back.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, because if it's the confidence factor,
Yeah.
he wouldn't have to worry about that anymore because he has missed some sitters really,
Yeah.
right? So, but yeah, that'd be a fun project to see, right? So
That'd be great. Maybe we can get this out there somewhere, and then someone will give him a chance, and he'll play.
yeah, I know.
I would love to see it.
Spread the word, right?
Spread the word,
Yeah.
exactly. But yeah, that was pretty much it for the FA Cup. Did you have anything to add on to like the upcoming games? Because we got Champions League coming up, and then more Premier League games next weekend. Liverpool's playing Southampton, so that should be an easy
It's
win.
another win, another 3 points for you. I mean,
Yeah, pretty straightforward.
chipping away at that total to depending, looking at the scenarios for when you can clinch, right? Depending on what Arsenal does. So
Exactly.
you're gonna start thinking that way soon.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, if we win this weekend, we win the midweek game, we're champions. That kind of deal. So I know that's coming up, depending on the points with Arsenal. But yeah, Champions League, I'm excited about that. So like we talked about last time, how there's some great games. I think PSG, is it Tuesday that you're playing PSG or
Yeah.
Wednesday?
It's one. I don't know. It's one of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really hope we take out PSG. Oh, it's Wednesday. Yeah. So it's at PSG. So I would love to get a win in Paris. So we'll see though.
Yeah, with Liverpool though, it's like their history. I mean, what was that one year with Barcelona and you got beat 3-0, I think, at Nou Camp, and you're pretty much writing it off. And Messi scores an amazing free kick, and it's like, okay, this is over. And that's that game when you beat him 4-0.
Oh, that was incredible. That was one of my favorite like Klopp games ever.
That was exciting. Yeah, Barcelona looked stunned.
It was ridiculous. I was still in college at the time, and I actually had my final for one of my it was a communications class.
Yeah, I remember this story.
And then everybody had to do a presentation, so it was a long class. And so I was just like, I'm just gonna watch the game, and then I'll do my presentation after the game, because it was a 3-hour class. And then I told my professor, I'm like, oh, there's this huge game on. It's like my favorite team. It's a semifinal. She's like, oh, fine, you can watch it. So then I ended up watching the game, and then I had my presentation, and it was fine. She was super chill, so that it worked out. But I'm glad I didn't miss that game, because I would have been super upset.
You sure that professor wasn't a Liverpool fan?
Yeah, maybe it was awesome. But other than the Liverpool game, we got Forest City, so that's an interesting game. Chelsea really needs Nottingham Forest to take that.
Yeah. I mean, that would Now we've beat Southampton, so we can get on a run again. But it would be nice to get some help from other teams around us. And so Forest, yes, do us a favor.
You still have to beat Leicester, which Leicester's not good, so you have to win.
Well, there you go, 2 games in a row, right? So it should be automatic 6 points, because we got Southampton. The way Leicester's playing, they look demoralized. They look like they've given up practically. So we better beat Leicester, and that will be another 3 points. So yeah, Forest can do us a favor, so we can keep going towards that fourth, that
Yeah,
Champions League. Although I've heard this year, and I'm not sure why, that there might be 5 teams that get that, and I don't know if it's because of the
the
breakdown
new
or if it's
Champions
just the new
League.
Champions League setup, but there might be
Interesting.
5 spots. So maybe fifth will be good enough this year, so
I don't. I feel like they got to keep it four because it makes it
yeah.
more dramatic. If it's five, it's like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a little easier.
Right. But yeah, I
I
know.
want the drama for the top four, and Liverpool's already like chilling, so I'm not really worried about
Yeah.
it.
We're just used to that. Top four. You got to make
Top
the
four,
top four,
yeah.
not the top five.
Right, right. So, and then United Arsenal. I feel like both teams are so unpredictable. So for some reason, I feel like United could like draw that, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Who do you got for that one?
I
Predictions?
mean, the way United's playing, I mean, Arsenal should beat
You would
United.
hope, but Arsenal's
Uh,
been kind of off
Yeah,
lately.
they can't. I mean, Forest, they couldn't score. And
Yeah,
so, but yeah, I got Arsenal on that one, I think.
you think so?
Just because United, they don't look good, I mean, I know Ipswich lost to them, but
Yeah,
then here they are, they lost to Fulham in the cup, and they were holders. And so, yeah, I'm picking Arsenal on that one.
picking Arsenal. I'm gonna say a 2-2 draw as my prediction for that game. I feel like it's gonna be crazy. I don't know why, but yeah, Chelsea they better beat Leicester.
That's 3 points, I guarantee it.
Knowing Ipswich, they're probably going to lose. They're playing Palace at Palace, a very
Yeah,
informed Crystal Palace right now. So,
not
what do you
good.
think?
Yeah.
Any chance?
I mean, the great thing about the Premier League is that anything can happen, right? Because I mean, when Ipswich beat Chelsea, which was weird because I'm obviously a Chelsea fan, but I was born in Ipswich, and so but they knocked them off, and they were flying at the time, so that was a surprise. But I would predict Palace, but maybe Ipswich can get something out of it. Like they should have got something out of the United game.
I hope so. I'm really hoping Ipswich beats Forest today, and then they win the FA Cup somehow.
Yeah, and
That's the Ipswich dream.
yeah, they'll give them some confidence going too if
Yeah,
they beat Forest,
true.
going into the
That
weekend.
would be huge though.
Yeah,
At
yeah.
Forest as well.
Oh
So
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, did you want to add anything onto the Premier League games coming up?
No, I think we've covered it. Yeah, it looks good. We've hit the most of the games, right? So yeah,
Pretty solid. And then, so we both think Trent's probably leaving Liverpool. Do you think he's going to succeed at Real Madrid?
I think so. Just the way they play, there's going to be cover for him, so he can go forward.
Hmm.
And who knows? Depending on who their coach is, I'm assuming it's going to be Angelotti, but they change too if things don't go quite right. Like if they don't win the Champions League, who knows, right?
Yep.
Because that's their expectations. And La Liga's a bit up and down. There's a good run going there between Barcelona, Atletico, and Real Madrid. So
Hmm.
yeah, I think he'll fit in. I do just the way, especially spraying the ball around the way he can, and with the talent they have, he's going to get some assists. He's going to score some goals. He may make the occasional defensive error, which
Yeah.
he's known to do that. But I think they have so much attacking
Hmm.
power, and that I think he'll fit right in.
Yeah.
And him and Bellingham being mates, that's going to help. So
Yeah, I think he'll fit in, but I don't know if for some reason I have a feeling he's not going to be quite as good as he was in his prime at Liverpool.
yeah,
I don't know, just because it just happens with a lot of like English players. I feel like when they leave.
yeah, still not that common to
Yeah,
go.
yeah, it
I
is.
think it's getting more common, but yeah, they just like their home cooking and being
Mhm.
in England and being in another country with a different language. Sometimes it doesn't always work, and so Bellingham obviously is fit in.
Yep.
Nice thing to him, he's got someone else in the team who is English, and so that will help the transition. But that's possible. But yeah, to get to the days when he was. I think he had a little more pace as well, because
Yeah.
that's definitely a problem.
Hmm.
But yeah, that could be true. I could see that happening. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see him at Real Madrid if it for sure happens. I mean, I feel like it's most likely gonna happen.
Yeah, it looks like it.
And then if Liverpool for some reason plays Real Madrid in the future with him on there, that'll be fun to watch. So
Yeah, yeah,
we'll see how that goes. But yeah,
yeah,
I'm still gonna be bummed. He was like my favorite player for a while, so I'm still
yeah.
like disappointed that he's probably leaving.
I know you got the jersey, right? So,
Yeah, I got the Trent jersey. I feel like it's like a curse or something because I had the Coutinho Liverpool
and then he
jersey,
left.
and then Coutinho leaves. I had Sadio Mane jersey. He leaves, and
Yeah,
now Trent's probably. It's like, jeez.
you're probably glad you don't have a solid jersey, because then maybe that will be the key then.
Well, that was my thinking because back in the day when it was kind of like the debate between Mane and Salah, I thought Salah was gonna leave,
Oh yeah,
but then Mane leaves way earlier, and then Salah's actually been there for so long, so
yeah.
it's surprising, but yeah, we'll see. It's gonna be an interesting transition.
And he looks happy at Liverpool, but
He
we'll
does.
see. And Mane, boy, talking about a player that fell off a
Oh
cliff
man,
when he left.
big fall off.
Goes to Bayern, gets in a fight with Leroy Sané, I think, and I don't even know where he plays now. But
Me neither.
well, what a difference! He
What
was
a
so good
difference.
with him and Salah at Liverpool.
He was insane.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. So other than because I know last time we talked about Lampard was kind of like one of your favorite Chelsea players. Other than Lampard, who's been your all-time favorite Chelsea player? Or like name a couple that you've.
Yeah, I think I'd mentioned it first time Osgood centre forward, and then the keeper. I loved the keeper we used to have back in Peter Osgood's time. So I guess that was the 70s, maybe late 60s. Peter Benetti. I used to call him the
Mm,
Cat. So great keeper. Probably John Terry. What a leader he was. I mean, in that team, the Mourinho team, such a good captain, good leader. But yeah, I would say more of the so no one's really got me there yet for the current team, I would say. Cole Palmer possibly
Palmer
could
has
be
yeah.
that because he is a great player. But there's been so many changes,
hmm
and this is a really young team. But yeah, I would say Lampard, Terry, and then going back, Peter Osgood, and then Peter Benetti back in the day at the old Stamford Bridge. I would say those are some of my top Chelsea players.
Players before my time, so I don't have
Yeah, no
any
reference.
thoughts on that. So,
Yeah.
but okay, that's fair. That's fair. I think for because you're not a Liverpool fan, but other than like Gerrard, who on Liverpool has kind of stood out to you over the years?
Oh yeah.
Any team you can name anyone.
Well, because I'm a lot older, so back in the days when Liverpool was so strong, winning European Cups, winning the league, players like Ian Rush, Kenny Dalglish, Kevin Keegan, those were probably some of my old school favorite Liverpool players, I would say. And then Michael Owen when he was there as well.
That's
But
when he won the Ballon d'Or, right?
I think so,
It was
yeah.
all in Liverpool.
I'm pretty sure, yeah,
Yeah,
because then he went to Madrid, I think.
yeah.
So, Real Madrid again. But yeah, Liverpool, yeah, it's been entertaining to watch, and they've had some unbelievable players. Ian Rush, like I said, Jamie Carragher. There's a kind of a John Terry equivalent for Liverpool, even though I don't think he was the captain. I think
Yeah.
Gerrard was, but another leader on that team.
Oh
So
yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think Carragher was such a great player, and he's a Scouser too. So
yeah, that's right.
yeah, him and Gerrard are like the OGs for me. But
How
I
about, do you know any, I mean, you're more of a contemporary Liverpool fan and everything,
yeah,
but any old school players that you've heard about or maybe seen a video of that you are impressed with from the past?
I mean, yeah, I've only seen like clips, but
Yeah,
yeah, Kenny Dalglish.
yeah,
I did see prime Michael Owen was great. I didn't realize how good he was. Like
yeah,
he was so fast, such a good striker.
yep,
So I think yeah, Owen was really fun to watch. So he kind of like screwed over his career leaving Liverpool. That's why I feel like Owen what he did because now like Liverpool fans don't really like him as much because he left and went to Real
yeah,
Madrid. Do you think that's going to kind of ruin like Trent's legacy? Because he's like same kind of thing. He could
yeah.
have been a legend, could have been future Liverpool captain, but he's kind of doing like what Owen did.
I mean, it could or depend. I was going to ask you about that. Do you think he'll celebrate a goal? Probably not if he comes to Anfield and he's playing for
I would
Liverpool.
hope. No, I mean he's
Yeah,
still gonna respect Liverpool and he's a
yeah,
fan. So like
yeah. I know.
I don't
So
know. I just think it's crazy if you can grow up, being from Liverpool, being a Liverpool fan, playing for the academy, and then you want to leave that team. It's just and especially when we're in this good of form is crazy to me.
yeah, well, what did you think about? Because you were obviously this is your player, Gerrard, right? That's what got you to a Liverpool fan.
Yeah.
That time when Mourinho wanted to get him on Chelsea, and there was some unhappy Liverpool.
Yeah.
He didn't go,
Yeah.
but there was some talk.
Do you think it was this close of like the Trent going to Real Madrid? Like it was pretty much set in stone with Gerrard. Do you think it was kind of like that very similar to this?
I think it was very similar. The big difference probably though was since it was a Premier League team,
hmm
that probably
More
an
okay.
arrival in the league.
Right.
That's I'm sure that was in the back of Gerrard's mind. Versus you go continental, and sure you could play in Europe, but you're not going to play every season.
It's not the same.
Yeah, so
Everyone would have, yeah, hated Gerrard
yeah.
on Liverpool if he would have gone.
Even with the rumors, I think they were burning his jerseys
Right,
in
right.
Merseyside. So yeah.
I mean, yeah, it would be way worse if Trent was going to like City or Arsenal or
Oh
something.
yeah.
I can't even imagine that. So that makes sense. Do you think if Gerrard would have made that move to Chelsea, do you think he would have succeeded at Chelsea with Lampard on the team?
It's interesting because they never worked for
They
England.
never worked well together.
As good as they are, they just couldn't. But maybe if they were teammates on the club team, that actually might help England because maybe they could have worked it out. Different players, but yeah, they never seem to really click for England, so it may have not worked. We'll never know. It's just up to speculation. I would have hoped it would have worked because he's a great player,
Right.
and they do play differently. But there's proof in the pudding that never worked for England.
It never worked. Yeah, that England team was so frustrating with
Yeah.
how much quality they had.
Yep.
and they could never do anything. I still don't understand. Like, how do you have like prime Steven Gerrard, prime Lampard, and then feeding Wayne Rooney the ball? Like, how do you not have a
Yeah.
successful World Cup run with that like quality?
Yeah, and
Crazy.
even defensively, you got John Terry,
Yeah,
Jamie
super
Carragher,
good defensively as
good
well.
players
Yeah,
out there, right? And yeah, it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. But I know there was that whole club rivalry. I think we talked about this on the first podcast that you stuck with your team, your teammates on your club team, and the enemy was the other team,
right.
other
Yeah,
players on there,
yeah.
and they stuck in their little cliques. And so, how are you going to click together to play for England if you're just all you do is just sit and you do everything with your own teammates,
Hmm.
and you won't work, put that aside and just work for England? That was the biggest problem, I think, back in those days.
Definitely. And since you're wearing an England jersey today, I wanted to ask, do you think England will ever win the World Cup in your lifetime?
I'm hoping so. It's been I've had some real bad moments with England over the years. They've brought
We've
tears to
we've
my
we've
eyes.
both been frustrated with
Yeah.
England.
So I'm hoping that, there's so many good young players and they've been so close now.
So close. Crazy.
What was it? Semifinals of the World Cup and then two finals of the Euros. I mean, that's crazy. And one of them was at Wembley.
Yeah.
It's like, how
Should have
did
won
it not
that
happen?
one.
So, I mean, it's got to happen. This can't be a curse. It's not going to go on forever. But I really hope it's going to be in my lifetime. I got to remain positive and say it is. But they have the talent. Now, hopefully, you got Tuchel coming in. Maybe he can get England over the line. And maybe it'll be the next World Cup. Wouldn't that be nice?
When it's here
Yeah.
in the US.
Oh, yeah. Well, Tuchel's the coach, so that's what he's there for.
I'm hoping because we're gonna try our best to go to the World Cup and
Yep.
at least see a couple games. If we can see England, even better.
I know that would be nice. Yeah.
If they can somehow make it to the final, though, are we going? Are we gonna try to go to that game?
Oh yeah, I think we have to. Yeah. I've been to one final and then we went to Russia, so we went to some games there in the group phase. But definitely if England gets to the final, and I think is it in Texas? Is that where it's going to be in Dallas and
I actually don't know.
Cowboy
I didn't hear
Stadium?
where the final was.
Yeah, I don't know if they've made those decisions, but they know the actual stadiums that are going to be hosting. But yes, I'll do everything I can. I don't know what.
I'll
Yeah,
I'll sell a kidney if we're like
yeah.
if it's England in the World Cup final.
Yep.
I will sell a
And
kidney
it's
to go to
here
that.
too. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna. Yeah. I would try everything possible to get a ticket. I know there'll be a fortune, but I would have to do it.
You have to.
Yeah. Make it happen.
Yeah.
Right. So
Exactly. I mean, at least you've been to a World Cup final, but it wasn't England, so
nope.
it would hit so different if it was
Yes.
England.
Oh yeah, it'd be crazy. That was because that was a '94 here in L.A. at the Rose Bowl,
Hmm.
Brazil, Italy, and so yes, I want to see England in the final. I want to see England not just get to the final. I want to see them win.
Even when
I can't even imagine.
imagine paying all that money and they make it all the way to the final and they
lose again on penalties.
on penalties. Going to be like, oh man, I think I would cry if that happened. That
Yeah,
would be
I would definitely cry.
Hopefully not, but
Yep.
we got a ways to go for that, but it'll be interesting.
Oh yeah.
Sweet. Well, pretty much wrapping up. Did you have anything else to add?
No, I think another good podcast. I've enjoyed it. This is becoming a regular thing. This is number 2 now, so we're going to keep doing it because we
Yep.
enjoy it, and we do this anyway. So yeah,
Exactly. Yeah, episode 2. So if you're here, you're hopefully early on, as long as we can keep this up. But yeah, if you're watching or listening, we appreciate you. If you guys want to, if however you're watching, hit the subscribe button or give us a review. We would really appreciate it. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.
see you next time.